And the data in this regard, heart wisdom, is that every month for over 6 years, almost 7 years, you have shown up, you have paid attention to the truth in your heart and in your spirit, and you have shown up and you have offered wisdom from your heart. And so I thought that today, this evening, this experience would be an opportunity to value the truth within you. And so I've asked you, and you.
That's true.
And it's true that you agreed
Yeah.
that you would share with everyone the meditation that you have created called It's True.
Yeah. So I'm hoping too, as I kind of go through some of the words from this meditation that I had put together, Master Lin had suggested after I talked about it in different ways a number of years ago that we formalize it. So, but actually, it was kind of not looking for the truth. So it wasn't like, oh, I've got the truth, but realizing, I want to know what is true, not for you, but really for me. So the time that we have now, as you listen to my words and listen to Katrina's words, they're not so much saying, oh, what Katrina believes or what Glenn believes is your truth, but maybe it can spur a little bit of a searching in your own heart for what is true to you. I do think it's an
It's true. It was a long time.
but many years ago, I found myself working with like teenagers and stuff, and I found out when I had no clue of what I wanted to do or what was important, I found out I really like working with kids. It's true. And so over the course of my 134 years or thereabouts, that's not true. But over the years, I've always had a connection to kids, and kids also have had a connection to me. So partly for me, when I know that it's true that I like working with kids, that having the for me, what is true for me, makes it easier then to do what I want to do in life, because then I know that this feels like this is true. So I'm hoping maybe you take a little pause for you yourself and say, what things really are true for you versus not the truth, but what is a truth? My true and Katrina's true and your true might be different, and it might evolve over time. But finding what's true for you now will help you guide your energy, will guide what you wish to do. You know that you're following what is true for you. So I'm hoping that these minutes that we spend together will hope to kind of trigger or make aware inside you, inside your heart, maybe what is true for you. So I'm going to read some of this, off this meditation that we, kind of put together, and pause in certain ways to kind of ask you again, is this true for you? What is true? So even when you, do your own meditations or your own sitting still, when you sit still, maybe you have your hands on your lap, your fingers are open, or the thumb and the index finger are connected, your spine is straight, shoulders are dropped. For me, I have found, in discovering, Qigong, Springfire Qigong, almost 20 years ago, there's great trueness in it. So sitting in this particular way, it's a true for me. So I try to do that. Then as I, inhale and then exhale, I realize the inhaling, is the moving of the exhale is moving the energy down into the through the yin, so that the body gets to be balanced. It's true. That concept of the balancing of the yin yang is true for me. And then, therefore, when it's true, then I can follow and open my heart into that trueness for me. So the sitting posture, so I can calm my body down in the best way that is true for me. Others may want to lay down. Others may want to stand up because that is true for them. So finding even your trueness in your posturing for doing meditation or listening to music or what is, as you maybe visualize your lower dantian, just below your navel, that energy ball. 80% of the energy in your body, is in that lower dantian. It's true. And so how in the practice of Spring Forest Qigong, we always go toward, replenishing the energy that's in the lower dantian. So when we think a lot or do other things, that energy moves from that lower dantian because it's going to help provide the access to more. However, we have to find ways that we continue to, replenish the trueness of the lower dantian. And it's like a pot of stew on your stove in your kitchen. It's always there for the family to eat. And when it needs more carrots or needs more potatoes or needs more whatever the substance is, you have to keep adding back into that pot of stew, so it's always available. So too is that energy in your lower dantian. Keep replenishing that 80% of the energy in the lower dantian. It's true. And then if you wish to move your visual, just see that heart. Feel that heart, the spirit. Oh, beautiful. It's true. Then visualize, light perhaps coming down from the top of your head, just like scanning your body. And you're realizing that, the channels in your neck are open and the channels in your arms are open. The channels in your forehead and your face, they're open. The channels in your throat, the channels in your body as you scan down your body. And then you say, these channels are open. These channels are open down through the stomach and the organ systems and the tendons and the hips. They're open because you say so. It's true. And then scanning from your hips down through your legs, through your knees, through the ankles, to the very tips of your toes. All the channels in your body are open. It's true. Isn't it difficult to see that when you say, that's not true, that's not possible, what are you talking about? All of a sudden, the truth. What about this and what about that? And so it's easier to say, I know this is true when I say in my heart and in my mind that my channels are open. That trueness then helps that energy, the chi, to become more activated. It's kind of like the chi activation is like an algorithm. It kind of knows the formula for your body. It knows what the body needs because it has a blueprint. And so in activating your body, the chi, and opening your channels, and the chi, exercises that algorithm, the formula of health for your body. And it's task. And then when you say, that's true, that's what the chi does, then it works, very up. So then imagine yourself, in your own trueness, connecting to your master's energy. If you think of like a role model perhaps that you've had in your life, someone who was very important to you. So that connection to that person, you remember that person even many years ago. It has a very profound effect on you. It's true. Experience things in a different way and has that connection to a higher form, a different form of energy. It's true. Just as you might connect with a master's a role model, you connect with your master's energy because it's a phrase I've always liked. The master invites you up to that, that higher energy, that pure energy, so that you're not alone. You're now connected. You're connected. I say the password. I'm in the universe. I'm connected. The universe is in me. I'm not alone. The universe and I are one. It's true. And when I say it's true, then it works well. And so, in one way, imagine your heart so beautiful that you almost dare not believe. It's true. Imagine your heart so open, it knows only love. Imagine a heart so pure, it knows the universe. This is your heart. It's true. And then say these words out loud in your heart to yourself. My words are, I hear the sound of my loving heart that calls me to a deep understanding that transcends all doubt. And I sink into a calmness I can call home because it's true. I hear my heart asking me to go within, to come home, to go deeper, to stillness, to oneness, to live in unconditional love. It's true. I awaken from a life where there was only darkness, only fear, only aloneness, from a life where I thought the light inside me died, to awakening of this heart life, this life of light that has always been within me. It's true. I awaken to my loving heart where no one is unworthy. When the voices of fear speak of suspicion and hate, they are not heeded. My heart imagines a world so beautiful where the humanity and equality of others is not diminished. It's true. What is true for you in your relationship to others, in relationship to the world events? What is true? I feel the love in my heart, and I know it's always there. I know my heart loves. It's true, right? I know in trusting, surrendering to my heart, to the wisdom of my heart, to the divine, to pay attention to the life around and within me. So when I feel no one really sees me or hears me or understands me, I will still be guided. It's true. I hear the sounds and voices of others, and I know that there is a loving connection with one another. It's true. Even though I don't feel it all the time, or see it all the time, or almost believe it sometimes all the time, it's still true that the connection between others is always there. It's true. I know I have become a friend with my heart and feel it nourishing my courage to see possibilities and to go beyond limitations, to see those in hatred longing for love and those in sadness longing for connection. It's true. And in my work for years with other people, maybe this is the most true. When people seem to be difficult to be around, difficult to be with, they have a deep longing for that connection, for love. It's true. Difficult to get to them, and to us sometimes. But it's true. We long to come home to that truth, to a truth, to what's true for you. I know when I feel fearful and unsafe inside me, my heart can penetrate the darkest places and create calmness and strength. I know when touched by love, suffering becomes only a visitor. It's true. I know in the middle of my heart is truth, truth for me. And its heartbeat is telling me to love myself and others. I know life is generous when I pursue my purpose, to love. Wherever my heart is, there is where I will find my purpose. Did you hear that? Wherever your heart is, that's where you find your purpose. It's true. I know love answers two questions that I've had over the years. One is there anyone out there for me? And the other one is there anyone inside for me? These two questions are true for me. I know I am loved, that I am beautiful, I am valuable, and my life matters. Without evaluating it, without analyzing it, because it's true. If you ever watched, a photograph of something, you could see the whole photograph and then pick out this or pick out this a little bit, pick out that. That's the analyzing. But if you look at a photo, you say, oh, wow, it's got all these ingredients. Wow. But then our mind analyzes it, picks it apart, as opposed to, I know that I'm loved, period. That's true. I know my heart is so powerful that it can grow my capacity to hold conversations with others that build relatedness. That heart wisdom does the work in the connectedness. The capacity for me is to be able to tell stories that carry meaning, to give voice to that which must be spoken, to give guidance and identity to who and what I am, to transcend the path of complacency and open the path of compassion and forgiveness. Who are you? What are you? What is your capacity? What helps you transcend kind of the mud of the world or the ickiness of the world? What helps you? The heart. The heart. It's true. The muckiness still is there. But when you're also here, it's true. I know when I love so fully, it transforms my path of an entangled, anxious future into one of fullness of belonging to the present. It's true. My old friend anxiety moves me away from the present world. It's got a catastrophe coming. There's a danger coming. I can't go, what? Oh, right now. My heart says, I love, I feel it's true. I know kindness, gentleness, and opening my heart is powerful. My laughter, and my smiling are important to me. I would also add my playfulness. I like to be really playful with people.
It's true.
Doesn't always work.
It's
But
true.
in my heart is what kind of a spirit, what kind of a who are you? What are you kind of deal. And so I know when I think of my love may not be enough, I will love anyway. So it's not like my love has to be fully 100% pure, assured of success. It's not what the outcome may be, but it's what when I feel that love may not work here, love anyway. When I have doubts of what I need to do with situations, love anyway. When confronted with difficult situations, either personally or from the outside world, what's the first step? Love anyway. That's true for me. I've not always done that. Sorry, that's true. However, I know that is a true for me that I work for and try to do. So I can imagine my heart that's so beautiful that I believe it's true. I can imagine my heart. I can imagine my heart so pure that it knows the universe. I know this is my heart. It's true. And what is true for you? So take a moment, sit in your stillness of your heart, the gentleness of your breath, the calmness of your spirit, and feel the harmony within you. Feel what is true. So either two.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to you, Glenn, for all your teaching, all your sharing, you showing up every month, every day, being true to yourself, being true to your heart. In Spring Forest Qigong, we have so many role models about showing up truthfully and being true. Like Master Jackie and Master Rong show up every day for the heart, for the meditations and for the Spring Forest Qigong every day. So loyal, so true to life purpose, and a healer in every family, a world without pain and suffering. And Grandmaster Lin, our teacher, so true to his life purpose and our life purpose, knowing that we are all born a healer. It's true.
It's true.
So, for example, the Healing Connection, which I know many of you are thinking about participating in, Grandmaster Chuni Lin, every week for over 10 years, he shows up from his heart. He teaches, just like Glenn, showing up, teaching from your heart. This is the truth that I see all around me, that inspires me and encourages me. helps me to continue to look even more deeply to what is true in this life. And the teachings of Spring Forest Qigong really focus on the philosophy, but actually the truth of the 5 elements, actually the elements of life. The sun and the moon teach us so much with their showing up. Every day the sun shows up no matter what. Was fresh. Every day, all of us, this is one thing that is totally true, is that this is something that is totally authentic and kind, are given 24 hours a day, every day, no matter what. It's true. And so we have the opportunity to really listen to our heart, to really see the truth of what is needed all around us, with the generosity of life that gives us 24 hours. The sun always rises and the sun always sets, so that we know for sure with data that life is generous. But the truth is, we need to show up and pay attention and do our part, whatever it is that moves us truly. And the moon every month goes through different cycles, teaching us about light and also teaching us about darkness, teaching us about reflecting that which we receive so generously. What we receive is also what we have the opportunity to give. It's true. So I'm about you, how it is that you were inspired or that you received the message within you actually to create these teachings and this meditation.
I think what's been true for me has been, on one side, a real struggle to learn and to know things. So my academic life was not much to write home. So I struggle with finding the true me, the true knowledge that was more difficult to obtain through like readings or things like that. And so it's just as I found that the most difficult thing for me growing up was words, I realized the trueness is finding the words that are true for me. So one thing I do work fairly diligently at is finding the right words that convey the true meaning for myself. The only thing I'm kind of really responsible for is being me and my true. So I've spoken often about humility. Humility is not being, more than who you are. Not saying not humility. Humility isn't being less than who you are. Well, it doesn't matter if there's anything true or not. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be engaged in life. The humility is being true, your true self. It's not being like a meek little church mouse and, excuse me, I won't get in your way. That's not humility. It's true to be who you are, your authentic, genuine self. Master Lin talked a while ago about what is the signature of Spring Forest Qigong. And what are the principles? What's the a true about Spring Forest Qigong? And so it's kind of like, like maybe I could ask Katrina or not, but it's like, what is your signature? What are you known for? You write your name on a check or on a document or. You know, it stands for what? Whether it's a scribbly line or whether it's legible, that's not, see, the outcome is not so important. The fact that it's what your signature of who you are. So the authentic self, the genuine self, finding what is true for you, the humility, the power of who you are, because only you have what is true for you. Does that make some sense? Or
it makes sense to me. What about for you? Does it make sense for you? We'd love to hear what the truth about you. We'd love to hear the truth about you. One of the truths about me right now that I'm encouraging for myself is actually the expression of silence, which is different than not talking or having nothing to say.
mm-hmm.
I'm really focusing right now on discovering and respecting and growing the expression that comes from within me that is able to be seen and heard and experienced in silence. The sound of silence. And I'm finding it's true that it's very powerful and it requires a lot of intention and attention and meditation. So when I was considering what's true, it's true, what came to me was in the silence of the sunrise, in the silence of the sunset, different expressions. In the dark, the ancient ones received so much truth by being silent. I'm pretty sure you're going to like this.
You know, over the years, maybe this is a sidebar, but over the years, sometimes we're presenting at a workshop, she'll turn to me and say, do you mind, Glenn, if I tell this story about you? I'm going, well, it depends upon what.
It's true that Glenn longs actually for silence. And he's my teacher, but also my teacher, Grandmaster Junie Lin, teaching the 5 elements and teaching more about the wisdom of Qi. So I'll come back in a year or so. I've discovered within myself, connected with paying attention to the teachings of life and courage and resiliency and showing up and doing work no matter what, being present.
You know, when you also find what is true for you, it may not always be a pleasant true. You know, I work as a psychotherapist and Katrina's a psychologist, and you know, I don't mean to say like we spend all our days, you know, listening to people in pain and suffering and trauma and, you know, all that stuff, you know, to people. Like when they're in grief and that sadness, you know, the grief and sadness, what is true is that it's about connection, the importance of connection. That's true. And because of the importance of connection with another, the grief makes that, you know, true painful. So if you didn't have a connection to someone or an animal that passes on, there's no grief, So what is true is to have a connection to others risks what the grief.
Well, having your heart broken open.
That's the other, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the true is what your heart is broken, and what's the way out of that? Well, I have to fall back in love again with something. I don't want to fall back in love because I'm going to risk heartache coming again. That's true. My trust got broken. I got betrayed. I don't want to trust anymore. Well, then you won't. If you fear or live in, I'm fearful of my trust getting broken again. It's true that your trust may get broken again because you value trust. Your heart may be broken again because you value love. You may suffer tremendous grief because you value of making connections. So sometimes what is true is difficult, painful, but it can also bring that clarity, that understanding. Oh, okay, my path back from the pain and suffering I have is to find a way to trust, or find a way to love, or find a way to make a connection with someone or something. That is the healing, what is true in terms of healing. Being that genuine self, coming back, to who you are, to what you think you are. So what is true, for you? A long time ago, I say that, but it's maybe I've been thinking about. There's a lot of long time ago's in my life. It's true.
It's true.
But a long time ago, I was going to work at 6 in the morning. I stopped at this grocery store that opens at 6 to pick up something for a meeting. And here's this man, who's delivering bread,
Oh.
To the store, and he was saying, I don't know how we got talking about it. Where the store is, it looks over Lake Superior in northern Minnesota, beautiful sunrises. So it's 6 in the morning was the time of the year when the sun was coming up. It was just gorgeous. He says, what guy has a job, delivering bread that can see this sunrise so beautiful every morning, in different forms? It is so true. He says, people may think that, yeah, all I do in my life is I just deliver bread into a store. And I realize what is true for me is that's true. I deliver bread to the store, but it gives sandwiches to all the school kids in our town of Duluth. So I'm one, he joked, I'm responsible for every sandwich that's made in Duluth for kids going to school or people going to work. So all of a sudden he looked at what is true for him didn't have to be where. I have to be this, I have to be this, I have to be this. For that moment, for that time of his life, this is a trueness that he has value that he's giving to others. Whether he gives it to others, his true is what I'm showing up, like Katrina says, every morning at 6. I'm delivering the bread. I'm looking at the sunrise or some version of that, because that is for him, a trueness.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the things that are true for you?
Did I ever tell you about when I fell in love with the man that stands down at the end of the street holding a sign that says every little bit helps?
Mm-hmm. Say more.
This is a true story. I totally fell in love with this man, and I'm quite certain that he totally fell in love with me for about 60 seconds, maybe 75. We were totally in love. It was actually a night similar to tonight. There was, like many places in the United States right now, there's a blizzard here. So, but there's frequent blizzards in Duluth. So there was a blizzard, and I was leaving work at night, and there's a man that stands at the street corner holding a sign saying every little bit helps. It's a cardboard sign written in crayon. And I came out of our little building in cold, and snowy and slippery and dark. And I started to walk down, and this man came up towards me, and he held out his arm, and I took his arm, and he was the king and I was the queen, and we were totally in love for the time it took to walk to a safe place. It was true love.
It's true.
So every moment, every minute, there is opportunities that are given to us to experience true connection, true love, true compassion, true helping one another in difficult times, to hold out our arm, to hold out our hand to another, and also to receive the love and the care and the protection that is offered. Every moment, every hour, 24 hours a day, every week, every month, show up and love wholeheartedly. It's true.
And it's true that the king and queen, had a love for each other. So that's a reality. A trueness is about a reality. How you see, how you connect what is true for you. So in closing with a little story, I told you at the beginning about finding my love for working with children of all shapes and sizes and temperaments and all that kind of stuff, So I've spoken other places, about the kids I've worked with, or this grandchild that, Katrina and I, share some space and time with. So I'm going to end with a little story from her from last week or so, that's designed for all of us. She had just turned 7, so I picked her up from school and brought her to our house and, all that kind of stuff, And she had a backpack on, and I opened it up, and there was a folder from her teacher, and pulled out there's 3 math worksheets, So I kind of looked over that just to see. I wonder if she's catching on in first grade to math and adding and subtracting. I looked at the 3 sheets. And I said, oh yeah, it looks like she's kind of catching on. I looked, a couple of mistakes here and a couple of wrong answers there, but I don't care about that part, right? But I noticed at the top of the page was an A+. And I said to her, look, you got an A+ for your math from your teacher. And she said, oh, no, my teacher didn't give that to me. I wrote an A+ on the top of my paper. I just wanted to have an A+ on my paper. So what is true for her wasn't so much like, that's not the truth. The truth is you made mistakes. The truth is this. The truth is, and she says, well, what is true for me is there's an A+ at the top of my paper, and I feel good about having an A+. I just wanted to have an A+. So in some way, when you have doubts or questions or wonderings, put an A+, at the top of your heart, on the top of your paper, and feel that to be a true thing for you, that you know how to love, it's true, that you know how to care, it's true, that you know how to be connected, you know how to risk, it's true. So in a moment or two, we'll sign off here. But what we would like, is maybe take a little moment just to stay where you are.
In silence.
And maybe either you can jot down some things that are true for you, that touch your heart. Be careful of using your mind. The mind has a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts. See if you can find a way to kind of move it down to the heart. and find out there, what is true for you. Well, thank you for spending this time with us. Wish you well in your journey of looking for what is true. And we'll see you again some other time.
Bye.
Good
Love
night.
you. It's so true.